The environment beneath, around, and inside a hurricane has a major influence on how strong a storm can become. To visualize three of these influences, let's use North Fort Myers Community Pool as a backdrop and step inside a brand new NBC2 animation. Influence number one, water temperatures. A key ingredient for hurricanes to form is warm ocean water. If you think of the pool here as being the ocean, once the water gets to at least 80 degrees, a significant amount of heat is released into the atmosphere when the water from the pool, or in our case the ocean, evaporates. You can see this in action. When air rises, it cools and condenses into showers and downpours and thunderstorms. And the heat that it's pulling from the surface of the ocean helps to give things like tropical waves an extra kick. An important place to watch is here in the Gulf of Mexico between Cape Coral and Cancun. The Gulf Loop Current often holds some of the warmest waters in the entire Gulf thanks to underwater currents pulling it out of the Caribbean. This is a place where hurricanes can get very strong, very fast. Hurricane Michael in 2018 is a great example, going from a Category 2 to a Category 4 as it moved over the current. Influence number two, the West African Monsoon. Now, if you'd use your imagination for a moment, pretend that the pool deck here is Western Africa and the pool is the Atlantic Ocean. When this tropical wave right here moves off the western coast of Africa, it's able to get stronger the moment it hits the ocean because it's tapping into the energy that it's pulling from the warm waters below. Now, on years when the West African monsoon is more active, there's simply more tropical waves moving over top of Africa, hitting the Atlantic Ocean. This increases the odds that at least one or two of these tropical waves will find the perfect environment suitable for strengthening. Influence number three, eyewall replacement cycles. A major wild card in hurricane forecasting is accurately predicting when an eyewall replacement cycle is going to start and how long it's going to last. Take a look. Now, if we were to generate a giant hurricane over top of the pool here in North Fort Myers, we can get an idea as to what an eyewall replacement cycle might look like. These only happen in really big hurricanes over top of warm bodies of water like the ocean. Now, this hurricane, as you can see, is really well defined. See how clear-cut that eye happens to be? At the same time, though, this hurricane is likely tapping out on the maximum amount of energy that's available to it in the atmosphere. When this happens, a new ring of thunderstorms tends to form around the original eye wall, and eventually this new secondary ring of thunderstorms will take over and become the new eye wall. During this cycle, the hurricane tends to get wider, but it also temporarily gets weaker. And that's why timing is so important. Last year with Hurricane Idalia, the storm weakened from a Category 4 to a Category 3 just before making landfall, because just before it made landfall, it started an eyewall replacement cycle. Now, this process can last anywhere from a few hours to more than a day. And despite all of the advances in modern weather forecasting, it is still very difficult to get an idea as to exactly when a cycle is going to begin. Reporting local from North Fort Myers Community Pool, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Rob Duns, NBC2.